Hello AFD squad and welcome back to Transfer Review. Chris Hamill is not here today, but no worries at all. We've got in Michael McCubbin. He's the Mkhitaryan to Hamill's Sanchez. You excited to be here?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to be here. I mean,
convincing.
Wouldn't be if I was going to Arsenal, but
wow, harsh. Yeah. Don't need any of that. Anyway, moving on. What is the first rumour this week? Because I've heard that it's absolutely bananas.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's at the Bernabeu. And of course, it's Cristiano Ronaldo, who, according to Sky Sports, could be leaving Madrid for just about anywhere. Oh. So this comes actually specifically from Guillem Balaguer, who was actually on ERU on Monday. So go and check that out. And he says, yeah, that apparently Los Blancos are willing to listen to offers for Ronaldo, which is interesting actually. But apparently, yeah, he's upset that promises over a new contract haven't been kept. But yeah, it would bring to an end, obviously, to a glittering nine-year career in Spain for the Portuguese striker. 15 trophies, 422 goals in 418 appearances. That's taking into account this year's, kind of lesser form as well. So still amazing. But obviously the question is, who could actually afford him? He's turning 33 in a month's time. His annual net salary is still 49 million euros. And a transfer to get him out of Spain would have to probably be in excess of 100 million. So, I mean,
money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, whoever was willing to spend that much would obviously be looking at him for kind of commercial value rather than footballing value. I mean, he still is a top-class striker, but, he is getting older and he's not going to be able to sustain form for too much longer, I wouldn't expect. So, yeah, probably PSG, Man United, those would be the kind of clubs who would be going for him. I don't even know if Man United would. I mean, in a footballing sense, I don't see where he really fits in terms of the attacking talent they already have. But Pat, obviously, yeah, he's not had the best season this season. Take us through a bit of that.
Well, he hasn't been scoring at a great rate, but all the underlying stuff suggests that he will start scoring again. At the moment, he's got 4 league goals in the 2017-18 season, which is obviously not spectacular, but he's shooting 7 times a game. That's nuts. I think that's the top rate in Europe this season. He's creating 2 chances per 90 for his teammates. That's his best rate of the last 3 years. Wow. A slight worry here would be that his shots on target rate, so his shot accuracy, has been declining. And it's now been declining since 2013. It's now at 45%, which is still pretty decent given his tendency to shoot from range. But that would worry me a little bit because, of course, when he's frustrated, he does just seem to shoot from absolutely anywhere. However, I don't know, if he carries on getting shots from inside the box, he's had 72 of those this season and only scored 4 of them, then you sort of think that they will start going in. So it's possible that if Real Madrid start undervaluing him as a result of this underperformance, you might be able to get him for a little bit less than you normally would. Los Blancos, I think, have generally been a bit unlucky this season. They've taken 267 shots in 18 games. That's 37 shots more than Barcelona, but Barcelona have scored 20 more goals. That's crazy. To be honest with you, I think this is like half real, half bullshit, right? So I think that Real Madrid probably would listen to offers for him this summer, but I don't think that PSG or Man United is going to be terribly interested with the figures that you talked about and his age where it is. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do you think, maybe China, maybe the MLS?
Yeah, maybe.
MLS, rather.
I just can't see at this moment in time why Ronaldo would really want to leave. I mean, it seems like it's a funny one with him in Madrid because obviously over the last year, kind of, it seems that he's getting more and more kind of frustrated in terms of, I don't know, like with his contract or whatever. But when you think about his character, the kind of the signs point to that he'd want to just stay at Madrid, max out all the records that he's broken already, so that no one could ever break them again, and still kind of try in vain to kind of match Messi's levels of performance. I don't know. He's such a competitive guy that I can't see him for at least another 2 years wanting to get out of European competition. I'm sure if the right offer came along, he may consider going back to Man United, but I don't know if that offer would come along.
Neither do I.
Difficult one.
Well, guys, we're unsure, but we need to know your opinion. Vote in the poll up there whether you think Cristiano Ronaldo will leave Real Madrid this summer.
So our second transfer rumour this week comes from Corriere dello Sport in Italy, and they reckon Nicolo Barella of Cagliari could be on his way to Man United or Liverpool. We don't really know that much about this guy, so if you know any better, let us know in the comments below.
You could have made him up.
Sorry?
You could have made him up during that intro.
This could be complete fraud. Wouldn't be surprised. But they claim that the 20-year-old midfielder would be available for around 50 million euros this month.
Like most 20-year-old midfielders.
Which is a pretty...
I'm available for 50 million euros, and I'm 28.
Yeah, there
so
you go.
Still got some life in the legs.
Yeah. We are open to offers.
Work rate.
But obviously the question is he worth it? We're not really that sure. He's played in all but 2 of Cagliari's games this season, which is impressive for a man of his age. But they do currently sit in 16th, 5 points clear of relegation. So whether he'd be able to make the step up to a team like Man United or Liverpool, who obviously have top 4/title ambitions every season, remains to be seen. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist in this struggling side, which is, again, not bad at all. He creates 1.1 chances, takes 1.2 shots per 90 from central midfield, and actually, almost more impressively, he gets 50% of his shots on target. So that kind of shows that this is a guy who probably has his head screwed on, quite good in terms of the decision making.
Yeah.
And he also makes a fairly impressive 3.7 tackles and interceptions per 90, which is actually better than Nemanja Matic's 3. Obviously, he's playing in a team which is fighting relegation. They're going to have less of the ball. They're going to be pegged back a lot more in games. So it's expected that he will be making more tackles and interceptions because he has to. But Pato, what do you reckon about this?
I think those numbers are pretty decent, actually. And the fact that he's holding his own in a big league at his age is good as well. When you look at United's depth at central midfield, you see like Scott McTominay, who's 21. He's actually older than Barella, but he's only got 5 senior appearances, whereas Barella, I believe, is over 70 senior appearances for Cagliari. And that's pretty damn good. It's nice that he's got defensive output as well, because as United knew when they signed Matic, he's not getting any younger, and Herrera isn't terribly young either, so having somebody who could fill in a defensive role and free up Pogba would be good as well. But this doesn't sound like United to me. Don't get me wrong, they're going to have to do some clever scouting, I think, to rebuild their squad if they're going to carry on devoting huge transfer fees and huge wages to the likes of Sanchez or Griezmann or Dybala or whoever it may be. But a central midfielder, it's such an important position, it would be very un-Mourinho to give a 20-year-old a chance there, unless that 20-year-old were a truly special talent, a Pogba, a Naby Keita, I don't know, somebody like that. And as yet, while Barella looks good, he does not look like that. So, I don't know, this one for me, a little bit unlikely now, but maybe in the future. Where else do they need to strengthen this summer? Is this really the primary area for them?
From a United point of view, probably not necessarily. I mean, right back is obviously a big one.
How old is Valencia?
Valencia's 31 now, I think, probably turning 32 this year. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, he's not getting any younger, and also his performances have dropped off a bit this season. Centre back has been a bit of a problem position just in terms of injuries. So I don't know whether we need reinforcements. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another one come in the summer. Obviously, left back. Hopefully Luke Shaw can push on and keep his place, but again, that's also been a bit contentious. But yeah, sure, I think there is definitely space for another central midfielder. I think Scott McTominay has actually been pretty good when he's came into the side. He's looked pretty comfortable on the ball. He's played in the Champions League, Premier League, and League Cup, I think, this season, despite his kind of lack of appearances. There's definitely space there. Whether it all goes to this guy though remains to be seen. I can't personally see it happening, at least not this month. But what do you guys reckon? Let us know down below.
Next up, we have another famous name for you. It's Kluivert, but it's not Patrick, it's Justin, his son. Could be on his way from Ajax to RB Leipzig. This, according to Calcio Mercato. Why they'd have a story featuring a German club and a Dutch club is beyond me, but it sounds plausible, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in theory, it definitely could be. And yeah, we've got some stats down here to reel out, and there will be some more stats on Scout Report on Sunday where we do cover Kluivert as well, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, in terms of this rumour, it's definitely plausible. Kluivert is clearly a very talented youngster. Finished last season with 2 goals and 4 assists from 14 league appearances. Not bad for a guy who only turned 18 last May, I believe. And this led to rumours with linking him with Man United, apparently, as he had an animated chat with Mourinho post-Europa League final. That didn't come to anything. But he stepped up this season as well. 5 goals and 2 assists from the same amount of league games this season so far, still only 18. And he's versatile too, you can play on the left, right or left. Most have come from the left. But yeah, it's clearly a technically gifted guy. 87% pass completion from that position high up in the field in a team which likes to attack with pace. So yeah, this definitely seems like a player who can step up to the level of the Bundesliga. And obviously RB Leipzig have been struggling a little bit more for goals this season. Tell us a bit more about that, Pat.
Well, Timo Werner is unsurprisingly their top scorer. I think he's got 12 in the league now, but their second highest scorer is Naby Keita on 5, and that is a little bit worrying. Last season, between goals and assists, in his total goal contribution, Emil Forsberg was involved in 1 goal a game, like a whole goal a game. This season, that's about a third.
That's a big drop off.
Yeah, which is a huge drop off for a guy who got 19 assists in the league last season. This was a guy who they thought was going to run their attack. Hasn't been great this campaign, so it would be good to get some goals in. And they've lost 5 games already in the league this season. They only lost 7 in the whole of last year. 4 out of their 5 defeats have come without scoring a goal. So clearly they need kind of some attacking threat, especially as they're second up, like you said, in the Bundesliga. They've got a big tie against Napoli in the Europa League. So in order to compete on all fronts, they are at some point going to need to start filling out this squad. And it's possible they could lose Werner in the summer as well as Naby Keita. So it's sensible for them to start looking now. Kluivert looks like a good young talent. How much he costs, though, we're not entirely sure. How much would you pay for Justin Kluivert? Let us know in the comments below.
Next up, we go over to Chelsea. It's not Andy Carroll, don't worry. But it is a Chelsea striker leaving Stamford Bridge, apparently. Michy Batshuayi to Dortmund, according to Bild. Tell us more, Pat.
Yeah, apparently Dortmund are happy to let Aubameyang go to Arsenal if they can get Batshuayi off Chelsea. Now, why Chelsea would let that happen is utterly beyond me. But it makes total sense for Dortmund. They apparently wanted Giroud as part of the Aubameyang deal. He apparently wasn't keen, presumably because he's an idiot, from heading balls too much. His brain cells have degenerated. But Batshuayi, to me, would be a great replacement. So there's a bit of a forward merry-go-round. Sanchez to United, Aubameyang to Arsenal, Batshuayi to Dortmund, Andy Carroll to Chelsea. Exciting
we know
times.
The winner is there.
Yeah, we know who the loser is, definitely. Batshuayi, I think, is great. He got 9 goals in 28 appearances in 16-17, but a lot of those were off the bench. He played extremely limited minutes, and his strike rate, I think, was only second in the Prem to Kelechi Iheanacho because his minutes were so limited. A few assists as well. Got that title-sealing goal against West Brom too. But for whatever reason, he doesn't seem to fit into Conte's plan. Maybe it's a stylistic thing, maybe it's something off the field, not entirely sure. Conte already tried to replace him in the summer, tried to get Fernando Llorente, but of course he went to Spurs. And Batshuayi, good at international level as well. 5 goals in 11 appearances for the Red Devils. Since his debut for Standard Liège, which happened at age 17, he scored 93 goals in 247 appearances. And as I've already said, a lot of those substitute appearances. So I think he'd be a great signing for Dortmund. He's got pace, he's got size, he can clearly bring other people into the game. He's young, which would make sense for Dortmund, but not so young that he wouldn't immediately contribute. I actually love this move, but I understand that my love for Michy Batshuayi is not something everybody else shares. So what is it that's so good about him?
Well, like you said, his strike rate is pretty phenomenal. 0.4 goals a game isn't far off Aubameyang's 0.5 over his career. And in 17-18, Batshuayi's actually averaged 0.7 per 90 to Aubameyang's 0.9. That's really, really impressive, considering the like you were saying, the lack of minutes that he gets. Pulls off 3.3 shots per 90 compared to Aubameyang's 3.9, and obviously we know that the Dortmund man gets a lot of opportunities, especially high quality opportunities in the box. So in terms of his productivity, there is potential that Batshuayi could actually, if not match Aubameyang, get pretty close. And one thing that he actually would bring to the Dortmund side that Aubameyang doesn't is in his dribbling. Obviously Aubameyang isn't much of a dribbler, hardly attempts any, and when he does, isn't very successful with them. He only completes 19% of his take-ons. Batshuayi, on the other hand, is an excellent dribbler, 80% take-on success, which compared to anyone is very, very, very impressive. So this is something that actually Dortmund could benefit from in the long term, having a striker who could actually evolve that attack. Obviously, Batshuayi would be expected to perform immediately. Dortmund do still rely a lot on Aubameyang's goals. I think he scored 18 in 20 appearances this season, and obviously BVB already 15 points off Bayern Munich. So it's not likely that they're going to be able to challenge for the title this season. But even so, just to challenge in that kind of second kind of throng of teams who are all battling for those second, third, fourth positions, if they were to get rid of Aubameyang this month, they would need goals to replace him immediately. So yeah, this. But I mean, I don't know. Batshuayi, I'm sure, would be willing to accept the challenge.
Yeah.
He's not been relied on at Chelsea at all, so maybe he would accept that burden with aplomb. This seems like a pretty interesting move.
Slam dunk. Transfer shocker time, and it's Marco Asensio to Manchester City. This courtesy of Diario Gol. Apparently, they want him like every other club in the world, but of all the clubs in the world, there's probably not one that needs him less than Manchester City. And I don't know why Real Madrid would get rid of him at all.
No. Yeah, very silly. He's the future of their attack, and why would they let him go to their former nemesis, Pep Guardiola? It would be a very strange series of events if that were to happen. Obviously, their attack is ageing. CR7 33 in February, Benzema is 30, Bale is injury prone. Along with Isco, he really is the future of that club.
Yeah.
He's got a contract that runs till 2023 and includes a 500 million euro release clause.
Pricey.
So, would anyone actually go for that? Probably not. Although he would obviously improve City, they already have, a congested attack of stupidly, technically brilliant players. Sterling, Sane, David Silva, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Phil Foden, Diaz. The list goes on. That's not even mentioning Aguero and Jesus in the centre forward role. So
shit though.
Yeah. What do you reckon?
I mean, it's bollocks. It's just it's so transparently bollocks. Like, I mean, if anyone got a chance to sign Asensio, I'm sure they'd go for it. But I mean, Pep Guardiola seems to want to play an attacking mid in every position. He's basically like what Wenger thought he was in 2010, where he was like, let's put an attacking mid in goal, Szczesny. Let's put an attacking mid in defence, Vermaelen. Let's put an attacking mid at left back, Andre Santos. But it does seem to be working for him. However, this is not going to happen. Even City don't have this much money. Even Real Madrid don't have this few brain cells. So this is it's a shocker. I don't know, just put abuse about Diario Gol in the comments below.
So that was our transfer review for this week. What did you think of these rumours? Do you think any of them are possible? Do you think they're all bull? Whatever you think, let us know in the comments below, as always. And if you think there's any rumours we should be covering next week, let us know again on Twitter. Pat, where should they go next?
I should say right here on Euro Football Daily, check out our 10s, check out Football Mundial, check out Stat Wars. Also head over to 90+1 Facts, where we've got recent videos include Kevin De Bruyne, they include Juventus, like all the big teams, all the big players, and less bullshit than there is on Transfer Review. We'll see you next time for another truckload.